Hey lovies, welcome to my channel, Craft Away with May. I'm May. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by to see what I have going on. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me. I appreciate you all so very much. I am excited about today's video. I will be doing a thrift flip for you guys. It was actually supposed to be a part of an open collaboration, but because I was heading out of town, it was my birthday, the day it was supposed to go up, and then the following day I was going out of town, so I wasn't able to get everything edited and uploaded. So I decided to save it for you guys for this week. So I found this super cute wine holder, I guess wine box holder. I'm not sure of how to pronounce it, but anyway, someone told me what it was, another content creator, because I just thought it was gorgeous. I got it from the Salvation Army and only paid $3 for it, but I've had it for a while and I wanted to do something with it. Wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I decided that I was gonna I had got these great napkins from off of Amazon, and I decided let's do some decoupage, right? I have all these napkins in my stash, so I figured I needed to do something with them. And so we're gonna try this out, guys. Now, I don't know if this was real leather on here or not, but I didn't want to like paint over it or anything like that. I just wanted to add a little something to it. And so I just decided to do this napkin here, and I thought it was really pretty, that I thought it would just kind of complement it a little bit. And I had some few surprises along the way. So anyway, I'm just going in, and I'm sorry I had to turn it over. I just wanted to make sure I was lining it up correctly. And I'm just smoothing it out with a sponge. In Because I normally don't mind the wrinkles, and even here I really wouldn't have mind them, but I just wanted to keep them as minimal as possible. And so I'm just going in with some of my Mod Podge, and I'm giving it thin coats, but I'm just making sure it's fully covered, like not too little and not too much, just somewhere kind of in the middle, just because I was really hoping not to tear it. I did have a few tears here and there, but I just really wanted this piece of it to lay on almost perfectly, if that's the thing. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted this part to be really visible. That's what I'm looking to say. And I'm sorry if I sound a little nasally. I am in South Carolina right now, and oh my goodness, my allergies were already acting up because we had some bad wind in California, but oh my goodness, the trees, the pollen, everything here is just not my friend from the time we got off the plane. So I'm really congested. My allergies are just in full effect. So I do apologize if I sound a little nasally, but I'm trying to minimize it as much as I can. So, like I said, I'm just smoothing it out, and I did try to slow down this video because I did have a sweet viewer ask that of me because they wanted to follow along. So I'm really trying to keep as much of this in without going too fast. And I'm so sorry. It seems like every time I get on here, all of a sudden I start getting notifications. I hate that. But so then once I got that first piece on, I took the other piece from the napkin and just started tearing it up, as you can see here. So I'm just tearing it off, and I wasn't sure where I was going with this at first because my original thought was just to do that first piece, leave it like that, and maybe that would work. But then it just looked a little off to me. So I was like, okay, let's keep going. What can it hurt? Let's keep going. Let's see where this goes. And so that's why I decided to start ripping the napkin up and just kind of putting random pieces all over it. And guys, I have to tell you, it came out really cute. Like, I was nervous. I was so nervous. But it really came together so pretty, and it did not take away from the actual piece. And that's what I love. When you take that risk and it still works out in your favor, I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, crafting gods. I appreciate you. And so right there, I was still thinking about it. And so I was like, let me just flip it on the other side to give it a chance, put that on, let it dry. And I started sanding it down. And like I said, I still wanted to keep the integrity of the piece. So like, I didn't want to paint the bottom of it or whatever. But what I started doing when I started taking away the leftover from the napkin, I kind of started hitting some spots on the box, and some of the true color started coming through. So I don't know if maybe they painted over this, spray painted it or whatever, but there was a lighter tone underneath the wood, and I really, really like that. So you'll see that in a few minutes, and it just came together so nicely. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I'm so excited for you guys to see it. And like I said, I do that same technique with the Mod Podge, just give it nice, thin, even coats across. And as I was doing this, probably about 2 seconds into it, I was like, you probably should have opened the box. But it actually worked out okay. So at first it did give me a little tug to try and open it, but it did in the end actually work. And I was just able to sand it down. And like I said, I can't wait for you guys to see how pretty this looks. Even though the way I put the bottom part on, I thought, I don't think this is going to work. It's just not going to look cohesive. It's just going to look kind of patchy all over. But no, guys, it really, really, really came out so, so pretty. And I can't wait for y'all to see it. So, yeah. And that's what I'm doing here. Just kind of spreading it out, placing different parts of it here and there. And what I was trying to do is just try to line it up so as to not put like the rows next to the rows at the bottom. Like, it was really weird. So I kind of started layering a little bit of it in between each piece. I would just let it dry a little bit, then add the next one, so on and so forth, because again, I just wanted to look kind of random more at the top of the piece. So that's what I did there. So I'll just let you guys watch this part, but I think I'm going to stop and move on. Yeah, I thought so at this point. I can't remember. Like, I did this like a little over a week ago, so I can't remember everything. So once I got the sides covered, I just went down the middle because I was like, okay, it still needs something in the front, and I wanted to leave that as is, but I thought, how pretty would it be to put that rose right in the middle of there? So I'm like, okay, that'll work. But once I did that, I felt like, okay, it needed some more at the top as well. And so I do go in, add some to the top, and guys, I'm telling y'all, this is so cute. And I'm so glad that I did not paint the box or any part of it like with a lighter color, because I feel like doing it this way, it just looked like it was actually part of the original piece. I hope that makes sense, but you'll see once it dries and everything, because I was like, this just looks like it wasn't meant to be like a part of this piece. And I think this is where, when I started sanding, I started seeing some of the the wood that was underneath. The color of it was really pretty to me, and I just kind of went with that. And I'm just patching in little pieces as I go along. And I do apologize, guys, if it sounds like I'm stopping and starting the video. It's just, like I said, my allergies are really, really bad. So it's been really hard for me to breathe. So I have to stop and take a breath. But so there it is. It was drying, and here's where I was kind of looking at it to see, okay, is this gonna work? Is this gonna be like 100% horrible? But it is not fully dry, but it was still working. So at the top of this part in the middle, I felt like it was still a little off, so I went in and added some more of that tissue paper there. Or napkin, sorry, not tissue paper, but napkin. And I didn't take it all the way to the back, just because I felt like it didn't need it. Again, items like that where I know the back is not going to be shown, I won't do that. And in this case, I just really truly didn't feel like it needed it. Like, it worked the way it was. And so this is where, like I said, I started sanding to get those little pits off, because I had not thought about that part. And I'm like, you're going to need to get those pieces off. And I was going to use a nail file, but I was like, well, this is what I have right here. I'm going to start sanding this. And so then that's when I started seeing it had more of a like, it was more like a yellowish color wood. And I don't know my woods like that, guys, so I'm not sure what kind of wood it was, but it had a yellowish tone to it, as you see there. And I instantly thought about Rub and Buff, the antique gold. And so I'm just going, like, I just start sanding and sanding and sanding. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna mess it up. I know it. I'm gonna mess it up. And I did, y'all. I was so happy. At least I don't think I messed it up. But I started going, and there it is. I know it's not the best shot, but I think you guys can kind of tell the lighter part versus the other. So I accidentally rubbed the piece of that part where I'm standing now, and I saw it had like a gold coloring to it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So yes, the antique Rub and Buff gold, I'm gonna add it here. So I was like, that was my sign to move forward with the antique gold Rub and Buff. So what I'm doing here is just trying to expose that design or pattern or whatever you want to call it. I was trying not to go too hard on it because I did want to keep some of that dark brown there. And this is where I'm just gonna go in and touch it up with the Rub and Buff. And guys, I'm so glad that I did that. Like, this really, it looks so pretty in the end. And I was so scared. I was like, I'm never going to get it back to the original way it was when I bought it. But that's part of thrift flipping. Oh my goodness, guys. Thrift flipping, or, whatever, that's part of it. You want to take that piece and elevate it. And I really feel like I did it here. Just because these just worked out differently completely for what I had planned. So when that happens, like, I get super excited. So as you can see, I'm just taking that Rub and Buff, oh my goodness, Rub and Buff, and I'm just spreading it on thinly. And if you ever work with Rub and Buff, I used it for the first time a couple months ago. A little bit goes a long way. And the pieces where it did have like brass coloring or gold coloring, I just took some of that and just to enhance it, rubbed it on to make it look a little bit newer. So in the back, this is where I did go in and do the same thing. And as you can see here, I did highlight some of it, but adding the Rub and Buff, it brought it even more out. And I really, oh my gosh, guys, I really love this. Like, it just, it took it to another level. And I hope when you guys see the final reveal that you guys will see like how cute it truly is. Like, I love this. Once I did that, it just seemed like it made it pop just a little bit more. And it almost reminded me of a jukebox for some reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know, but that's where my mind went. So I'm taking some fake fruit that I have here, and I picked these up. These little cute, I don't know if these are considered apples or if they're supposed to be like nectarines or peaches or whatever, but I thought they were super cute. Got them from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going in with a bottle of wine on one side, and I'm putting the grapes and the other fruit on the other side. And I absolutely love the way this came out. Now, I know you guys see right here where I didn't sand that down. I had actually forgot, but once I looked at it, I was like, oh, hello. We're going to go back and fix that. So I do go back, sand that down, but here's the gist of it. And I did try to put a shot in between because, again, one of my subscribers asked that I show a picture in between. So I'm trying to take those little tips and do better with my videos. So just, be patient with me. I'm just trying to get it all together. But so that's what I did. And even now looking at this, I probably should have went back a little bit far down the middle. But at the end of the day, it looks really pretty. You guys will see. So next, I felt like this piece needed a sign. So I just printed out the word wine, simple word, from my Cricut Joy. And I just added that as well. So you guys will see that in a few seconds because I forgot to put the picture in. But here it is. Look at it. Doesn't that look pretty? It looks completely different to me. And I feel like that antique gold rubbing buff just took it to the next level. Guys, you have to let me know what you think. So here is the sign. I took that same napkin, decoupaged it on, and then now I'm gonna take the word wine. Like I said, I printed that for my Cook and Joy. And you can definitely use stickers here. Handwriting. I always say that if you can handwrite things, I think that's gorgeous. But my hand just does not work that way for me. Like, I do not have the best penmanship at all. But I just took this, very simple, and like I said, just added that on. I use the little weeding tool to varnish it, but I just go ahead and I varnish it. I said it wrong. I don't know, y'all. My mind and my everything. It's all over the place. But nonetheless, I just took that to rub it on to get the wording to adhere to the board. And I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure if the napkin was 100% dry. And I was like, oh, it's going to rip it. But no, it actually went on pretty smooth, and it wasn't like completely dry. So I did have to be super gentle with it, but it did go on okay. And I really love the way it looked. It looked very oh my goodness, I can't think, like a wine like a little wine studio when you go in. And the sign just looked like something they would probably hang on the door to welcome you in. I know that's really far out there, but that's what it reminded me of. So I just added that on there, and then I had these smaller little fake grapes that I got from Daiso, and I just added that right around the string of beads to hang off to the side, kind of. And I think I added one more thing to this, but I honestly can't remember what it was. But nonetheless, it still came out super, super pretty. So I didn't staple that down. It already came with the wooden bead. Oh my gosh, the hanger with the wooden beads on them. And so there it is, guys. I'm sorry, I tried to get it all in here in between shots, but there it is. So next up, this is a mini tiered tray. I tried to say that without sounding too plugged. Sorry, guys. But it's a mini tiered tray that I found at the Salvation Army, I think it was. And it was only 99 cents the day I got it. And so what you see that I did there, I just went in with some of my chalk paint and covered it. And actually, I felt like once I did that, I probably should have went with white. Because I don't know, my mind, the vision I had went one way, but for whatever reason, I grabbed the black matte paint, and I started to. Once I did that, I started to go in with the black rubbing buff, but it was there, but it was just very you couldn't really tell. So what I decided to do was to take the antique gold and go over it that way. But it wasn't so when I did that, it went on a little heavier than I anticipated, but because I didn't want to go back and redo it in the black, I just went ahead and kept going with it to see where it would end up. So at this point, I was like, okay, it might work. But it was not. I wasn't that happy with it, but I was like, at this point, I didn't want to go back. So I just decided to go with it. And what I end up doing also is taking more of those napkins and just doing some more decoupage to them. So here it is. It gave it kind of a shiny gold rusted look, I guess, if you will. And I had a different type of napkin that I thought would show up really well here. And so I'm just tearing that off using kind of the same technique. I was just going to go with the hydrangeas and just put those on there. But I decided to do full coverage on all of them. So what you see me doing here first is just adding it in, patching it in, and I didn't really particularly care for it, like I say, but in the end, you guys will see it did come together. So again, this was all trial and error. Both of these pieces was just literally not how I intended for them to come out, but at the end, I do feel like I brought them together quite nicely. So that's what you see I'm doing here. Yeah, like I said, oh, and what I was doing too, y'all, I don't know. I think I was probably tired at this point. So I patched it on one side, and I know patching is probably not the right word, guys, but I patched it on one side. Then I was like, okay, well, I'll do it on the opposite side as I go down. And so I was looking at it, I was like, this looks really pitiful. I can't leave it like this. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just taking that sponge, and I really like this technique with the sponge because it does help it adhere better to your pieces. And so this is where I went in and sanded it down, and I'm just like, yeah, no, this is not working. We need to do something better, May. And so I decide, like I said, I go in and add it. But here it is. I'm sorry I didn't get a better shot of it, but I think it came out really, really pretty. Now, this miniature tier tray, I think would be really cute, like in a bathroom, where you could put like your rings and jewelry and things like that. I think it would fit in really nicely there. And here is the wine box, guys. I absolutely love the way this came out. Like I said, it superseded my expectations, even though I didn't go in the direction I thought I was going to go in. It still came out so pretty to me. And just the vision. This is what I wanted to do, how I wanted to decorate it, because it's something that I definitely would like to have, like sitting in my kitchen somewhere, if by chance one lucky day I get more room. But I absolutely love it. I think I still kept the integrity of the piece and just elevated a little bit. But you guys have to let me know what you think. I know I didn't get like the best shot of the miniature tier tray, but I hope you guys can see it. And here is our wine sign. Even though this wasn't a thrift flip, I still wanted to share with you because I really think it ties into the pieces very well. And if you guys are still here for the ride, thank you so much, lovies. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Every time you come back to hang out with me, it touches my heart more than you guys know. So if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting. Just know that those comments are only desired and not required, because I absolutely, hands down, love to chat with you guys. And I would love to hear your feedback and join my beautiful little YouTube family. I appreciate you all so very much. And again, I'm sorry for sounding so congested on the video, but I just really wanted to get it out this week, just, to share with you guys. So please let me know what you think. And before we wrap up, lovies, remember, fall in love every day. Every day that you have an opportunity to open your eyes, it's an opportunity to fall in love with at least one something that day. So until the next video, be safe, be kind.